Vanshi sir, Principal, Gemtech School of Law, Greater Noida, Professor Dr. Pallavi Gupta ma'am, Professor Dr. A.K. Tyagi sir, all the HODs present over here, faculty coordinators, Mr. Rohila, Mr. Prashant Pandey sir, Ms. Pridarshini Tiwari ma'am, Ms. Jyoti Gaur ma'am from Gemtech School of Law, student coordinators, my dear Arunim Kathuria and Shivam Tiwari, and moderator and anchor of the day, once again, dear Arunim, my dear faculty members and dear students. I, Dr. N.K. Behel, Professor of Law at Gemtech School of Law, Noida, District Gautam Buddha Nagar, UP, on behalf of Gemtech family, on my own behalf, heartily welcome Advocate Ajay Garg sir to Gemtech School of Law. Dear students, Ajay Garg sir is a graduate in political science. He did his LLB from prestigious Campus Law Center, University of Delhi, and he was enrolled as an advocate on 8 August 1996. Sir is the proprietor of law firm Garg and Garg Advocates, which is a firm of practicing advocates. Sir has now put in more than 25 years of practice on constitutional, civil, criminal and commercial law side. Garg sir is practicing in Delhi High Court and Apex Court. Sir has argued matters of national importance before benches of the Supreme Court. Garg sir is an expert in legal drafting as a promising lawyer, and he has participated in several seminars, workshops, conferences, and webinars. Sir was a chairman and speaker at the National Conference on Medical Informatics at Ahmedabad way back in January 2024. Garg sir is regularly invited by the Legal Academy of the BSF for addressing their senior officers on matters relating to criminal law, Evidence Act, and cyber laws, etc. Garg sir has keen interest in providing legal aid to the downtrodden sections of the society, and sir is committed to provide easy access to justice to the masses. Dear students, now the Legal Services Authority Act 1987 has been enacted by the Parliament, and the important provision of this act is that if you get your case decided through Lok Adalat, then as plaintiff you are entitled to a refund of the paid court fees. In the same direction, Garg sir is the managing trustee of Krishna Legal Aid Foundation, which has been providing free legal aid and support to hundreds of poor, needy, deprived, old-aged women and disabled persons, irrespective of their caste, creed, or religion. This NGO is providing free legal aid to the poor and needy jail inmates, especially in Tihar jail, Rohini jail, and Mongoli jail. Garg sir is thus the champion and ambassador for mitigating inequality in our country. We once again welcome you, sir, and we are thankful to you for accepting our invitation and sparing your valuable time for our students. And it's my privilege to welcome you, sir. We are really delighted to welcome you, sir. And at the same time, we are happy to know, dear students, that Garg sir has a keen interest in academics, and he has contributed various articles which have been published in various journals and magazines. We once again welcome you, sir, to Gemtech School of Law, Greater Noida, and we will invite you to our campus once this pandemic of COVID-19 is totally over. We thank you so much for accepting our invitation. My dear students, sir is our chief guest for today, and he will be speaking on importance of legal aid for law students for the benefit of our students and faculty members. Dear students, the relationship between legal aid and our students is very interesting in today's contemporary world, and you will be greatly benefited by today's deliberations. Today, you will definitely learn the niceties and intricacies of legal aid as a tool for mitigating litigation inequalities. Sir, our students and faculty members are very and eager to listen you on today's interesting topic. You are again welcome to the family of gyms. Over to moderator Armin Kathuria, please.
Thank you so much, Dale, sir, for your kind words. So now I would like to invite our HOD ma'am, Professor Dr. Pallavi Gupta ma'am, for embracing us with the words of wisdom. Ma'am.
Thank you, Arami, for inviting me. With the blessing of our Honorable Chairman, Sir, Dr. Amit Gupta, Campus Director, Professor R.K. Rakovashi, we are happy to share that we are conducting this guest lecture online for the law students, dear faculty member, and dear students or the coordinator. On behalf of this coordinator, I once again welcome Advocate Ajay Gargji. And with respect to importance of legal aid for the law students, as after several case laws, Hussain Nara Khatun, Sulibatra case, number of the case, it was constitutionally recognized in 1977 under Article 39 to provide legal aid if people are not able to get it because of economic disparity or others. The important thing is here that why legal aid is important for the law students. As once the student join law course, once student join law course, he has in her or his mind that he has to go in the judiciary, in litigation, or the corporate firm, or to abroad, so many things. One thing is very, very important is that a student must give back something to the society. It may be a kind of corporate services to the community, CSR in the name of, but what we are doing as the social justice by the students to the community. So constitutionally, in the Indian Constitution, it is recognized that law it has to be made in this respect. Size draft is elected by Parliament in 1987. Dalsa through School of Law, students have to create the society. So we have today Advocate Ajay Gargji to motivate the students or to aware the students how legal aid is important for them. So with this, once again, I welcome Advocate Ajay Gargji. Now my back to Aruni.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words. Now let's talk about Advocate Ajay Garg sir. Advocate Ajay Garg sir has 25 years of experience as practicing advocate and have conducted and appeared independently in different types of matters relating to constitutional, civil, criminal, commercial laws, etc., mainly in the Supreme Court of India and Delhi High Court, as well as other high courts, and have also been giving consultancy regarding those matters. He have been vetting and reviewing contracts, agreements, giving legal opinions and other legal documents with respect to all legal practicing areas. He has argued it is for national importance and important questions of law before the constitutional five-judge bench before the Honorable Apex Court, such as Mukesh Singh versus State Narcotic Branch of India, SLP Criminal Diary, And sir has been a legal retainer and have been providing legal support to number of foreign missions from Middle East in like Royal Embassy of Saudi Arabia, New Delhi, and Embassy of UAE as well as Kuwait, and foreign nationals, corporate houses, industries of various streams. Now let's talk about Radhe Krishna Legal Aid Foundation. Sir is the and managing trustee of the Radhe Krishna Legal Aid Foundation, which has been providing free legal aid and support to hundreds of poor, needy, and deprived, all old age women and children, and disabled people belonging to all religions, caste, creed, etc. every year. RKLAF has rare distinction of being permitted by the Director General of Delhi Prison to provide free legal aid services to the poor and needy inmates and do their matters in pro bono basis, including Delhi Central Jail, Tihar Jail, Rohini, and Mandoli jails. Sir has conducted several important matters before the Honorable Supreme Court and Delhi High Court on free legal aid pro bono basis. Now, sir, I would like to invite you to enlighten us with your kind words. Sir, over to you.
Am I audible? Good morning,
Yes, sir,
everyone.
you're audible, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks to all the directors, honors, distinguished faculty members, and the host, not only for my generous introduction, but also for giving me the opportunity to speak on this forum. Well, friends, I'm not going to give any lecture on the concept of the legal aid and about its origin and development, since all these information is already in the public domain and all of you must be aware about it. Your teachers must have already given you, because I think most of you belong to the Legal Aid Society, so that the must have already given you a good idea about how this legal aid concept came into picture. What I'm going to speak today is my own personal experience during this short journey of my works in free legal aid, and how and why all of you should be taking up the legal very passionately. Friends, I established my NGO, Radhe Krishna Legal Aid Foundation, in the year 2016, after the demise of my mother, and it is named after my parents. It was founded to provide free legal aid to poor, needy, and weaker sections of the society. At the time when this NGO was started, I had completed almost 20 years in my profession as a lawyer, practicing in Supreme Court and High Court, both at the appellate and original sides. During these 20 years in court practice, I realized that the fight for justice in our country is not only time consuming, but also costly affair. The courts in India are flooded with cases, and the lawyers, they are busy, in squeezing their clients' pockets. I don't know whether I should say it or not. Many lawyers will not be happy with this phrase, but this is a fact. In this environment, it is not possible for a common man to even knock the doors of the court, leave getting justice. Every day, I used to see the privileged section of the society getting all the reliefs, unprivileged class getting denied of the rights and reliefs, mainly incompetent legal assistance or no legal assistance, and mainly because their paying capacity is limited. Now, I used to observe that the hardened criminals in very heinous crimes were getting acquitted due to the lapses in the investigation by the police. And everyone was talking about the rights of the accused, and nobody literally cared about the rights of the victim or compensating the victim. I'm talking about 20 years back. During that time, I had the opportunity of representing and conducting a pro bono murder trial on behalf of the complainant, who happened to be the wife of the deceased, who was shot and killed by her own father on a very trivial argument at home. I was successful to get the conviction of the accused, but I did not notice any sense of satisfaction on the face of this poor lady, the complainant, as she had lost her only bread earner, and she had the responsibility of feeding and bringing up her two young sons as well as their education. And mere life sentence to the accused, who happened to be his father-in-law, was no solace to her or her family, because they were so much financially burdened and they had no resources, no income. And although the punishment was given to the accused, that is one aspect of the life, but she wanted much more from the system for the loss that has been done to her. Therefore, at that time, I realized that the punishment or the sentencing of the accused is not everything for the victim, and they need much more from the system to really provide succor to them or to their life, especially the dependents of the victim. Therefore, at that time, I filed an application on behalf of the complainant, the High Court of Delhi, under Section 357 CRPC, seeking compensation to her and her children. And the High Court, vide a reported judgment at that time in Shishram versus State in 2014, was pleased to grant compensation to her and gave her lifetime rights to live in the property of the accused and receive the rent from the other properties of the accused as a compensation for the wrong done by the accused, who happened to be her father-in-law. So this order from the High Court was a very revolutionary kind of order, and it was a landmark judgment. It was well reported in the newspaper that besides giving the monetary compensation, the court has gone to the extent of securing the shelter for the complainant. This matter gave me immense satisfaction, and lots of heartfelt blessings were given to me and my family from the complainant and her family. Now, these kind of blessings for a selfless help are priceless, and you don't get it from a paid client. I mean, in our profession, it is said that that if you win the case, the client always believes that he had a good merit in the case, so he has won. And if the case is lost, he feels the lawyer was incompetent, so therefore he could not win the case. So nobody gives any credit for any special efforts or for any special knowledge put by the lawyers. I'm talking in general sense, I mean, not in particular. So, but where you, put all your energies for a selfless help, you get those blessings, which ultimately affects your heart and change your life. Now, these are some of the examples which actually me or inspired me to enter into the legal aid work by institutionalizing the same, as I believed that in case I need to help the needy and the weaker section of the society, then why not do it by putting my efforts in the field I'm expert in, instead of and just giving donations to other organizations, or giving money in temples or other religious institutions. So so my journey for this started after I formed this NGO, and we sincerely and officially started working for helping the poor and needy people. Many lawyers and volunteers, they joined our team who were interested in the pro bono. Our NGO was permitted to provide free legal aid in the Delhi prisons, including Tihar jail, Rohini jail, Mandoli jails. And it was a landmark and a unique decision of the Delhi prisons to allow an NGO to provide free legal aid in the jails, because so far it's only the NALSA or the High Court Legal Service Committee or the DLSA were only allowed to and permitted to provide the free legal aid in the jails. And surprisingly, I found out that there were no other NGOs and maybe a couple of public spirited lawyers who were just visiting the jails and meeting the inmates. Besides that, there was nobody to help them except the government agencies. So during my visit to the jails, I got the opportunity of meeting the prisoners from different sections of the society, and they had their own tell me. And when you hear them patiently, you get to know the ground realities of our society and why people indulge into criminal activities. All this information is very much important, not as a precautionary measure, how to reduce, curb the criminal activities, but also from the perspective of how to reform the persons who have entered into criminal activities. So there I got the opportunity to conduct diverse matters pertaining to different type of offenses relating to Indian Penal Code, and also other acts like NDPS, MACOCA, UAPA, and many other kind of similar matters. So I helped several poor inmates in the jail to get their bails. At that time, amendment was made in CRPC, which stated that you completed half of your sentence, then you can be given the bail. So we filed based on that. Nobody in the jail was really bothering about it. So we drafted the bail applications, filed it in the courts, concerned court, and got them bail who completed more than half the sentence as an under trial. And similarly, we also helped them and file their appeals in the high courts and SLPs in Supreme Courts. And during that time, I came across some matters which shook my conscience, especially in cases where the innocents are languishing in jails for years altogether without any proper legal representations in courts, and the right to speedy trial, which we have been hearing since we were a student in Husainara Khatun, many other cases. Those concepts or the rights of speedy trial, it only appeared as a glorified phrase, because the reality was strikingly different from whatever rights they may say you have, but the people are not able to avail those rights, So one such case which I would like to highlight is where an accused who belonged to Bihar and working as a storekeeper was caught on the suspicion of having committed the murder of a person, since he had ran away from his place of work after the murder was committed by his roommate. So his roommate committed a murder, he just, out of fear, he ran away from there. So he was not available when the police came. The police thought like he is also involved in this. Now the other co-accused persons who had really committed the murder, they absconded and they were not caught. And the accused Upender, he spent 5 years in jail during his trial, and his successive bail applications were dismissed. And after a span of 5 years, the absconding co-accused persons were caught by the police and brought before the court. And the court ordered for a de novo trial, which was, I mean, for the accused who were subsequently arrested. And the accused Upender had already faced this trial for 5 years, and he was in the custody incarceration. And now he had a challenge to face where he had to spend another 5 years in jail till the time the trial of the other co-accused would have been completed. At that stage, accused Upender met me in the jail. He disclosed and he told me all his ordeal. I was really shocked to hear him. And immediately I decided that I have to intervene. I have to help him by any means. He was a poor person. He has his lawyer from the legal aid who had been contesting his case was literally not doing anything for him. And he had no money to engage a private lawyer. Therefore, I immediately accepted his brief, and I assured him that I will not let him be inside for any more, and I'll do my best, provide my legal assistance, give him all free legal aid, so that he comes out of the jail as soon as possible. Now, at that stage, I filed an application on his behalf for separating his trial from the other co-accused persons, because I convinced the court and told them, like, he has already spent 5 years. He has reached to the state where his trial is already completed, and why then he should be languishing in jail and for another 5 years till the time the trial of the other co-accused is pending. So the trial be separated. The court accepted my arguments. They separated his trial, and then I filed a bail application. I explained to the court that that there is no sufficient evidence on record to somehow connect him to the crime, and there is no material eyewitness who has seen him all this. So merely on the basis of suspicion, you cannot keep somebody in custody for such a long period of time. The court was convinced with my arguments and granted him bail. So he came out of the jail, and thereafter I didn't waste any more time. I got the matter put up for final arguments. I argued his case. The arguments went on for about 2 hours, 3 hours, and ultimately the court was pleased to acquit the accused. Now, after five and a half years in jail in such a kind of a situation, he was finally acquitted. And I have seen many more cases where even after 10 years, 12 years of jail, the court find them to be innocent and acquit them. Now, nobody can return those 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, 12 years to those accused persons. And unfortunately, at that stage, we really realize that, because the accused person told me, why didn't you meet me, initially at the very first stage? I would not have been inside, I would have been out, all these things. And I did not get the proper legal assistance or representation. But, this is life. And that is why it gives utmost satisfaction to help these kind of people. We also, receive people all over India, even sometimes abroad, those living outside, and they are seeking our legal aid and advice, for their different type of legal problems, and sometimes in their pending legal cases, where they feel that they are not being properly handled, or that they require free legal assistance. See, legal aid is not doing cases in the court. Its scope is quite wide, where you give consultation, where you listen to their cases, you tell them the remedy, you tell them, what is the best way of doing their, resolving their issues. It can be the alternate dispute, it can be mediation, it can be arbitration, it can be filing a petition, or in so many other ways, or sometimes merely just writing to the government in case they are denied their rights. This is all a part of the legal aid. So besides that, our organization has done extensive research on how to make the police investigation more effective and efficient, so that the conviction rate could be substantially increased. In our country, in many matters, most of the criminal matters, the conviction rate is pretty low. In some of the cases, the conviction rate is only 10, 15, 20%. And in some other cases, it is 25, 30%. So in rest of the other cases, the accused, he gets free. Even if he has committed the offense, he gets free, and because he takes undue benefit of the lapses during investigation. See, being a lawyer, we have been representing the accused, and it is not our duty, it is not our job to see whether he has done or he has not done. He has a right of legal representation, and we give that in the court and perform our duty. But sometimes, from the entire facts and circumstances, you come to know, and sometimes, and in some cases where they are criminals, so they have committed this crime, but due to the lapses in the investigation, we take the benefit and they get acquitted, and then again they happen to do the same thing, being emboldened by the fact that they have been acquitted by the court. So we pondered over this, to maintain the law and order, to maintain a healthy judicial administration. What we can do that these lapses are not, they happen in the investigation. Now, it was a very ticklish and complicated issue. The investigation is done by the police. The police, everybody knows, they have their own norms and way of thinking and doing. So why would they be in collaborating with us to find out the solution to resolve this issue? But in any case, we did our job as an organization working for the public cause. We framed a checklist of investigation in serious offenses to be followed meticulously by the investigator. Now, we send this checklist of investigation to the Prime Minister, to the Chief Justice of India, and to the Commissioner of Police, and the police commissioner gave us at that time, and he invited us. He discussed with our organization how the investigation can be improved, how the lapses don't happen, which is generally left by the investigators. And they were quite impressed with our idea of adopting a checklist where all the steps are written in bullet forms regarding the investigation which the IO has to do, and so that the investigation officer does not skip any step starting from the beginning till the filing of the charge sheet. So that was an idea which was accepted and appreciated by the Delhi police, and they adopted this, and they also promised us to come and train their investigators. So that was also a very fulfilling experience, where we felt like those criminals who are hardened criminals or habitual criminals can be stopped at least by a proper investigation. We also emphasized on the importance of the scientific methods which should be adopted by the police for the purpose of smoothening and making it the investigation and making it more effective. Similarly, we have also been helping disabled sections of the society and fighting for their cause. And in one of the cases, a disabled teacher who was teaching the children, the special children in a private school, was removed from her service by the management, and she was totally helpless and clueless, as she had no legal support. She came in touch with us, and after going through the website, she came in touch with us after going through the website of our NGO, and she discussed the entire case. We saw her papers. We decided to adopt her case, and we filed her case for reinstatement in a school, and for compensation for the wrongs done by. And during that time, it was known that the management closed the school and they have ran away. And therefore, we took the steps for the arrest of the owners of the school in order to get her justice. So all this legal aid work has given me, there are many more cases. I don't want to explain all of them. Some of them are already available on our website. So all this legal aid work has given me tremendous satisfaction and a sense of fulfillment. With all honesty, I feel I have learned so much, not only as a lawyer, but also as a human being. And it helped me becoming a more mature, experienced, and a sensible lawyer. For becoming a good person and a good professional, it is necessary that one should be connected to the ground realities of the society. And the legal aid is the best platform for it. So there is this by Justice Sandra Day O'Connor that really resonates with me and my work, wherein he acknowledges that life as a lawyer today is a bit more complex than it was a century ago, and how the ever-increasing pressures of the legal marketplace, the need to build hours to markets, to clients, to attend to bottom line, have made fulfilling the responsibility community service very difficult. But public service is what marks the difference between a business and a profession. While a business can afford to focus solely on profits, a profession cannot. And you as a law student and even the practicing professionals must first devote yourself to the community, society that you are responsible to serve. I can imagine no greater duty than fulfilling this obligation, and I can imagine no greater pleasure out of it. Legal aid to the poor and vulnerable is essential for the maintenance of the rule of law, which is required for the existence of a stable society. Unless the poor and illiterate are legally assisted, they are refused equality and the opportunity to seek justice. As a result, in the recent past, you must all be knowing about this, that the judiciary has taken an active interest in giving legal aid to the poor and impoverished, as a step forward, making the legal system, more effective and poor-oriented. The judiciary has compelled and guided the legislature to enact appropriate legislations to deliver justice to the at the door of the weakest member of the society through major judicial. Public interest litigation is one such stellar example of how Indian judiciary has served as a forerunner in defending the Indian citizens' rights, particularly those of poor. It instilled a public-spirited individuals the desire to pursue justice for the underprivileged and impoverished class. Free legal aid is critical in a constitutional democracy like India, where a large portion of the people has yet to see their constitutional pledges of even the most basic fundamental rights. I remember in a judgment, I think it was Sukdas versus Union Territory of Arunachal Pradesh, Justice P.N. Bhagwati, who had been a pioneer in this field, he emphasized the need of creating the legal awareness to the poor, as they do not know their rights, more particularly right to free legal aid, and further observed that in India, most of the people are living in the rural areas, and they are illiterates and are not aware of the rights conferred upon them by the law. Now, under the in view of the judgments of the Supreme Court, the government and the legislature became active, and they enacted the Legal Services Authorities Act 1987, wherein they created a network of legal aid and support, and formulated the most efficient and effective legal services scheme. The NALSA, which is the National Legal Service Authority, is the main agency charged with the establishing policies and principles for making legal services available. Further, there are many more authorities at the state level and the district level, like the respective state legal service authorities and the district level legal service authorities, and other authorities like Supreme Court Legal Service Committee and High Court Legal Services Committee, who are acting and supporting the cause of public aid. Well, I'm here to reiterate the importance of legal aid for the law students, like all of you are. Generally speaking, the law can be, in my view, can be, when I was also a law student, so from that experience also, I think it can be divided in 4 categories of, if we see as per their future ambitions. The first group, interested in government jobs, after doing their law, like he or she may crack the judicial service exam, or UPSC, or a prosecutor or a professor. And category maybe where the law students think like they will join some multinational corporations, the corporate kind of a practice. And the category maybe of that group, which those who think about joining the big law firms and to work over there and to be a partner in future in the law firms. And the 4th category, I think, will be of those who think of having their own private court practice, as a lawyer. Now, all of these fields and ambitions are really great, and the main driving force for these ambitions are basically the money and status and power, which is quite realistic and should be what you strive for. But in this process, you may make the mistake of not realizing the necessity and the significance of undertaking the legal aid work. Now, you must remember that legal aid exposes you to the startling realities and institutions, and helps your overall development as a professional and as a human being. Every professional aims at bagging big cases, and and their name be displayed in the media, and making a name for themselves. But in the midst of all this, they neglect the importance of small steps that can form a ladder, leading them to their path. Now, realizing the importance of the legal aid, the government and the states have made the work in legal mandatory for being considered for the advocates panels of the governments and the public court, and even for becoming a senior advocate, for being elevated as a high court judge. So there is no escape now. The government understood the importance and of the concept of the legal aid and how to help the poor and the needy class, the weaker section. So they have made it mandatory that even if you are a lawyer, but you have to be doing some kind of legal work, for being entitled for many important, and that is very good for all of us and for the society as a whole. Now, as a law student, you have an implied duty towards the society to hear their grievances and provide them. All of us know that every person in this community, they face different kind of legal problems throughout their lifetime. The satirical that you don't need to travel far or dig deep to find them. They are surrounded all around you. For example, just imagine a poor person like your maid. She gets married and gives birth to a child at her home, and she has no idea how to get a birth certificate of the child, which is necessary precondition of getting admission in the school. And as a result, the school denies the admission. Failure of complete documents. Further, just go further. Her husband, who is working hypothetically at some establishment, is only given a meager amount of cash in his hand as a salary, and he's not aware of his rights granted in enactment Wages Act, Provident Fund, state insurance, gratuity, etc. Now, somebody may be denied the right to vote as he did not get himself enrolled with the electoral offices and may not have the required Aadhaar or voter card. Someone might be facing sexual exploitation at the workplace. A child below the age of 14 years, for example, is getting employed, against the constitutional mandate. So I'm not going into complicated legal issues. I'm everyday legal issues which arises in a common man life. There are so many other problems, as narrated by me earlier, which are related to the basic rights and the legal awareness and require the legal assistance. The rights are as encoded in the Constitution are provided, or statutes are provided to protect the interest of its citizens. Now, what use is there to just encode them when the citizens are not even aware of them, thereby leaving it completely unusable and useless? Sorry. Now, this difficulty is not faced by the educated and rich citizens of which at least have the basic idea of what their rights are and what does it comprise of. Rather, it is a matter of concern for the financially unstable and illiterate sections of our society, which might I add are in our country. So, as a law student, don't you have a duty towards them to make them aware of their legal rights, giving voice in our society, and help them to seek justice? So many of these people try to avoid legal assistance, and they are afraid of the hassle of the judicial proceedings, of huge amounts of sum charged from them by the independent lawyer, thereby being forced to somehow not seek the justice and continue to endure the malpractices thrown at them from various sectors, be it government, their workplace, their family members, etc. This is where your role is necessary. Now, you must be wondering that what role can you play in resolving the legal problems of a common man as a law student? You can start by being a paralegal volunteer. Now, what is a paralegal? Basically, a paralegal is defined as a professional who has required education and experience and can perform the substantive legal work. The National Legal Service Authority, they launched a paralegal voluntary scheme with the goal of providing volunteers from various walks of life in order to ensure that legal aid reaches all the sectors of the population through the paralegal volunteer scheme, consequently removing the barriers to justice. The paralegal volunteers are supposed to act as a go-betweens, bridging the gap between the general public and the legal service institutions in order to reduce the obstacle to justice. So in the end, the procedure intends for legal service institutions to reach out to individuals at their rather than people seeking them. So they would be their immediate neighborhood, those who are in need of such assistance, and with the basic knowledge of laws and other available welfare measures, so that a person who is unaware of his rights is not only made aware of his rights, but also has the access to measures involving the implementation of such rights. So PLVs are anticipated to not only raise knowledge concerning laws and the legal system, but also to counsel and mediate trivial disagreements between the parties at the source, eliminating the affected parties the burden of having to travel all the way to the legal service authorities or the ADR centers, or even to a lok adalat. So if the issue is of a character that can be handled at the source with the help of a PLV, they may refer the parties to legal service institutions in question, depending on the nature of the situation. So this is one of the ways where the law students can really be a part of the legal aid the process. And besides that, in my view, the law students can themselves also start this legal process by either making a group and just look around, and if there is a neighboring village or a slum community around you, you can adopt that particular people and visit them, hold legal clinics. You can have legal clinics being operated through your own colleges. I think most of the colleges have their legal aid clinics, and they are helping out and providing the free legal aid. By this way, you will be one-to-one, face-to-face with the person who is aggrieved, and you will listen to his problem, understand what is the issue, what is the legal issue involved in. Then you can come back and make a research. You are a lucky generation where everything is now available on the internet. So you just have to come back, put your problems, try to find out what is the remedy available for that person, and the steps which are required for that. And then you suggest him the remedies. If suppose he does not have the document, you can through on his behalf. By that way, you will learn what is an RTI, how it empowers the common man to get the information from the government and other institutions. And you may and representations on their behalf and give it to the concerned parties. Most of the cases are resolved, more than 50% cases at this stage. But if it requires to take the matter to the courts, if the authorities are not listening or the concerned parties are adamant, then you can refer those matters to the legal service authorities, or you can refer these matters to NGOs like us who are sitting there to help them. And by this way, you will be connected to the case. For example, you refer a matter to us which requires our intervention, and help, then we generally assign a lawyer with a case, and if somebody who is interested in that case, the lawyer can assist and help him in drafting the matter, can provide all the information, and when the matter goes to attend the hearing, so you will be just connected to the case from the very beginning till the time it is finally decided. So how many students get this kind of an opportunity? I mean, and after doing the law, when we joined the our seniors for learning the work, they used to give us, something to learn or something to research, and maybe some drafting, and or to sit in the court to watch the arguments. But hardly we got, the opportunity to really, going so deep into the case, especially when a case which you have seen from the very beginning. You have heard the litigant at the very threshold. So the kind of experience and the kind of satisfaction which you have when you start from the threshold and the matter get decided in front of you, that experience will be ultimate. Nobody can give that. And being a law student, you are getting this kind of experience, which even the lawyers, after they completed their law course, and it's difficult for them to get it. They do it, and after a long length of experience. So this will aid you in not only resolving the legal problems of the common man, but at the same time, it will enhance your own basic skills of advocacy, much before you have completed your law course and proceeded on the path of advocacy. In a hugely populated, country like India, it is very important that no one is kept away from their rights to be heard and seek justice. So, as this hurts the spirit of our constitution as enshrined in our preamble, thereby hurting the nation as a whole. So legal aid is that area which makes you aware of the working of the society, being able to understand the troubles faced by the poor people, thereby increasing your role and contributions in. So in the concluding remarks, may I refer to some famous quotes by great people which are still relevant to us, like Justice Blackmun in Jackson versus the Bishop has said that the concept of seeking justice cannot be equated with the value of dollars. Money plays no role in seeking justice. And Howard Ginn once said that the cry of poor is not always just, but if you don't listen to it, you will never know what justice is. So, my dear friends, I think we should all, inspired by what all these we have just discussed, and my foundation is it lives by the saying of these great people. So, thank you very much, my dear friends, and all the best for your future.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening words. So you taught us about the paralegal volunteers, the innovative and the initiation by the NALSA, and the famous cases you told us about. So thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening words. Now I would like to invite Priyadarshini ma'am for a vote of thanks. Priyadarshini ma'am.
Arunim, we can also have an interactive session in case any participant is.
Yes, sir.
Wants to ask any question.
So, if anyone has any of the questions, could you please give it in the chat box? Any question or answer arises? So I guess we must go on for the proceed further for the roll of thanks. Okay, Pridarshini ma'am.
Okay, am I audible and visible, Arunim?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible as well as visual as well.
Okay. Thank you so much, Arunim. Uh, a very good afternoon to all of you present with us. I, Pridarshini Tiwari, on behalf of Jamtech School of Law, feel privileged to extend my deep sense of gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Advocate Ajay Garg sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sparing your valuable time and being with us and enlightening us with such a wonderful knowledge. It was absolutely an informative session, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. In this series, I would further like to extend my vote of thanks to our Honorable Chairman, Dr. Amit Gupta, sir, our campus director, Dr. R.K. Raghuvanshi, sir. I would also like to extend my deep sense of gratitude to our respected HOD, Professor Dr. Pallavi Gupta, ma'am, Dr. N.K. Behel, sir, Dr. Ajay Tyagi, sir. And I'm also very thankful to the technical support team for supporting us throughout the event. And last but not the least, I'm very thankful to the moderator of the event, Arunim Kapuria, the student coordinator, Sivam Tiwari, and all the faculty members and the students who are present with us. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Over to you, Arunim.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So now I am. So now I would request you all to kindly turn on your cameras for a group photograph. Participants, kindly turn on your cameras for the group photograph, please. Also, there's an important announcement for all the participants that a feedback form link has been circulated in your chat box. So kindly fill up the feedback form in order to receive your participation certificate, and your participation certificate would be delivered shortly within 2 days. So, Priyadarshini ma'am or Prashant sir, may we leave if the photograph has been taken?
Okay, Arnim, with the permission of Bell, sir.
Yes, sir.
If he allows, we can end the session.
Yeah, it's
Well,
okay.
sir,
Arvind.
maybe.
Thank you very much.
Sir, could we wait for another 2 minutes for the feedback form link, and after that we may leave?
Yeah.
Actually, the feedback form.
Okay, Arnim.
Thank you so much, Ajay Garg sir, for spending your valuable time with us, sir.
Fine. Thank
It
you
was an
very
honor being with you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your such an informative session. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ajay sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you. I am leaving now. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Not having the issue with it. Vishal, I think you can stop live and recording. Session is ended now. Vishal,